So today's video is brought to you by just an enormous amount of confusion. What I want to talk about today is something that, until I recently rediscovered it, I thought had to have been something I just imagined at some point. Before I begin, let me paint you a picture. The year is 2004. Facebook was just getting started, Shrek 2 made $900 million at the box office, and Geico started airing arguably the most successful ad campaign they've ever had.
It's so easy to use Geico.com, a caveman could do it.
What?
Oh, no,
Not cool.
I did not know you were there.
Now, yeah, the commercials were pretty good. I remember liking them well enough, although at the time I was 7, so I really wasn't that hard to please. Now, let's fast forward to 2006, and here's where my curiosity just goes into full swing. ABC, the network that's brought you such shows as Grey's Anatomy and... I genuinely can't think of another ABC show off the top of my head. Okay, here's one. According to Jim. You remember that? That was a show. Anyways, ABC sat down one day and went, you know what I want to see? You know those Geico commercials? That. But like, half hour. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. Joe, how do you take a simple commercial premise and stretch it out to fit the format of a TV show? Well, I'm here to counter you with a more important question. Should you? According to the network, the show was described as a unique buddy comedy that offers a clever twist on stereotypes and turns race relations on its head. You know, because when you want to start an important conversation about race relations, it's probably your smartest idea to do it in a TV show with a primarily white cast. The general premise of the show was actually, like, really simple. 3 cavemen living together in a condo in San Diego. Also, prejudice. Honestly, that's about it. For the most part, almost every single episode really uses the whole caveman minority analogy as sort of the episode's basic source of conflict. Now, the reason you may never have heard of this masterpiece is because it was sadly canceled after only 6 episodes. Which, if we're being honest, is a longer lifespan than I would have predicted. The plot and characters and all of that aside, the most interesting thing to me is the fact that this show even got made in the first place. Like, I can only imagine how the pitch meeting for all of this went. Okay, so before I get going, I'd just like to very much say thank you for having me in today, and the ability to share my ideas with you. Sorry, I'm rambling, I'm kind of nervous. Oh, no worries at all. It's an absolute pleasure having you. Why don't you go ahead and get started? All right, sounds great. So I've got a couple ideas. The first one, so just imagine yourself, you've got a new sort of primetime spy thriller. It's got all of the action and intrigue of an old Bond film, but instead it's going to be set with a modern, sassy sort of female agent. Okay, I'm on board so far. Can you tell me more? Awesome, awesome. Okay, so here's actually my favorite part. I like to imagine the female agent played by none other than Flo, the insurance woman. Now, you mean Flo from the Progressive commercials? Yes, exactly. That's the exact one. If you look over here, I've got a mock-up of a poster for you. I like to call the idea progressive danger. You know what? Why don't we go ahead and just move on to the next idea? Absolutely, absolutely. The next thing I've got is sort of a buddy cop thing, you know, going on. I like to think of it set in New York City, and it's about these 2 detectives, one who's sort of a by-the-books, you know, straight-laced detective, and the other one who's more easygoing, and they investigate the most sensitive in cyber crimes. All right, now, is there anything else you can tell me about it? Yes. Now, if I was in charge of casting, which, you know, go ahead and do what you want, but in my mind, I really see the straight-laced detective played by the Can You Hear Me Now guy from the Verizon commercials, and his sort of fun, wacky partner played by the Affleck duck. I call it cellular quackdown. Is that supposed to be a duck pun? I'm sorry, before we go any further, are all of your ideas that you're presenting today based on commercials? Well, I mean, I guess I could have drawn some inspiration from them, yeah. Well, alright then. Do you have any other ideas? Well, I might have one. All right, I'm listening. So, have you ever seen those Geico commercials with the cavemen? Now, I can't say for certain, but all of that was probably pretty accurate. Well, that's going to be it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did enjoy, feel free to subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.